Hey everybody, it's Trigger Bar Philosopher. Welcome back out to the channel. Today we got another exciting review. We're going to be taking a look at the Glock 43x Radian Ramjet Afterburner. Should be a good time. Let's get to shooting. Okay, well, Radian recently released their Afterburner for their slimline set of pistols for the Glock 43, 43x, and 48. This here is for the 43/43x. It's a shorter barrel version of it. You can get one for the 48 that's longer version. One of the great things that I really love, other than how well they mitigate recoil on the Ramjet, is how well they have made, how small they've made these compensators on them so that they actually now fit in a Glock 48 holster. So a 43 becomes a 48 in terms of slide length and how it fits. So that's just fantastic. And there's the same principle in a previous video that I talked about with the SIG and XL. You put a Radian Ramjet on a SIG P365 XL, it becomes the fuse size, or you put it on a P365, it becomes the XL size. So they've done that with a Glock 19, becomes a Glock 17, so on and so forth. You get the picture. So you have holster compatibility, because oftentimes putting a compensator on your gun means you're going to have a devil of a time finding the right holster for your gun. This just means that holster compatibility is pretty awesome. And what they're also really good and known for is continued reliability. Sometimes when you put a compensator on, it requires additional recoil or performance in the gun. So you either have to lighten your springs up or you have to just shoot really hot ammo to get your gun to continue to function. So what you took was a very perfectly fine operating reliable Glock and made it something other than a Glock because it's no longer reliable. Well, so in this case, we're going to test that out with the brand new Radian Ramjet. Is it consistent with the ones they have for the 19, for the 17, so on and so forth? And are we getting the same kind of accuracy, consistency when we have the regular barrel in and when we have the Ramjet in on this gun? We're going to see if we can tell any difference in felt recoil, and that should wrap things up for the day. All right, with that said, let's get to shooting. Well, what we're going to do is we're first going to test accuracy and reliability. I've got some AAC 124 grain. It's more like a NATO type round, so it is a little bit hotter. We'll see how it runs in the gun, in the Ramjet. I do have in here the standard 10-round Glock mag, the factory Glock mag that came with it, just to kind of remove some of the reliability issues that you may accuse either with a Shield Arms magazine or the Palmetto State Armory Micro Dagger magazine that also runs in this. So that said, let's just do a little bit of shooting, a little bit of accuracy. This gun was zeroed for the regular barrel, and we're now shooting the Ramjet. Well, that's pretty good shooting. Why don't we go down and take a look at that? Again, we are only at 7 yards, but that's 10 rounds right in there. Yes, that's my first shot. Yes, I pulled it. That's me. That's somewhere in it. I started thinking, I'm doing really good now. And then I pulled that one. Hey, what can you say? But that's pretty good group for that aftermarket barrel. That's pretty exciting. I'd say accuracy, it's passing its test. Again, we are at a 7-yard range, so I can't go out any further today. We'll try that out another time. Got the 43x in our factory configuration. We'll see how we can do with 10 shots for accuracy with the regular Glock 43 barrel inside. See how it goes. Yeah, that's a great group too. Let's go down and take a look. Let's take a look at our 10 shots. Now, you may not believe me because I didn't have a target camera on, but I put quite a few into this hole. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I put quite a few into there. So Yeah, I think, well, six there, and I think I put 3 more inside these couple of holes there. So that's good shooting for me. All right, and next I want to test the muzzle flip, how much I get recoil with the Radian Ramjet Afterburner. First up, I have the standard configuration coming from the factory. We're just doing a kind of basic test where we're trying to look at muzzle flip. When we take a look at the first, we're going to do 2 shots. Take the first look at the first one. I'm getting a 15-degree measurement. Again, very simple, just measuring the angle between these 2 lines, where we started, where we ended, trying to kind of get it at the peak of when it's tilting backwards, maybe not raising backwards. And then we do it again a second time. Take a look at this muzzle flip that's happening here. And on this one, I just measured it maybe just a little bit bigger, up at 19 degrees. I don't think the accuracy on this is accurate to more than 4 or 5 degrees. So, you know, it is what it is, but it just sort of demonstrates in slow motion how the pistol is moving. You can see just a slightly less, what I would call volatile recoil that's happening. We can see it in the numbers. It's moving back on target just a little bit faster. The degree of flip is just a little bit less, and it just snaps right back into just a little bit faster than what some of than what the barrel without the Radian Ramjet is happening. So again, we take a look at it on the second time, and this time we get an angle, you know, that it's consistent with the first one and down a little bit less, down at 11 degrees. And so, you know, between 11 and 19 degrees, is that a significant difference? Probably, and for me, that's enough of a difference to make a difference, so I'm quite happy with this setup. We got the Radian Ramjet, and we're going to do a 5-shot group with the Garmin with this 124 grain AAC ammunition. We'll see how it does. It's supposed to be going 1150, and we're going to compare it to without the barrel. 1132, 1073, 1095, 1065, and 1106. Quick session summary. The average was 1094, min of 1085, max of 1032, average kinetic energy of 329. Okay, let's try it now with the regular barrel. Okay, we got the regular barrel in for the Glock 43x. We got our Garmin up to test velocities. 1071, 1005, 1070, 1052, and 1041. I think in general it was just a tad lower, but again, we're shooting such small numbers of groups. It's hard to tell if there's enough of a difference to make a difference, but the average went down to 1068, max of 1005, min of 1041. Extreme spread is 64. Those big spreads in there, it's hard to tell. Standard deviation of 21, average kinetic energy of 314, so maybe a little bit of velocity gaining with that ammunition with this, but really we'd need to shoot more groups. I just don't think it was that significant either way. Or at least I think that you don't lose velocity with this new barrel. Sometimes I put threaded barrels on and it doesn't get any more velocity, it actually loses velocity, and really, you know, all the comp is happening up in here so that you're not really adding barrel length to this, you're just adding the comp to it, but it's not hurting you. Okay, we have the 43x barrel in. We're going to shoot 10 shots as quick as I can because I feel like when I do that, I can get a sense of how the dot is returning and recovering after the recoil, and that helps me understand how well the compensator is performing or not performing. So again, no compensator. Here we go. As fast as I can. All right, that's good to know. All right, we have the comp back on. Let's see if we can feel a difference when we fire off those 10 rounds, 10 shots in rapid succession. Here we go. What I can tell is that there is definitely a muzzle difference. The dot was never leaving the window when I was doing it that way, versus with the barrel on it, the regular Glock 43, you have to wait just a split second, or I have to. It allowed me to get, I wish I had better target down range to show this between the two. I didn't, I just shot the same target. But it allowed me to get more hits on the paper in a focused area, versus I was just kind of seeing, oh, the dot's coming back pull, versus the dot was tracking the whole time inside of my sight picture on the Koa optic in there. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Let's just do a couple more tests with this gun and we'll wrap things up. Okay, next up I have some 124 grain Federal HST Plus P. This is my self-defense ammunition a lot of times, so I want to see how that does with this gun, see how it's performing, see if it functions with it. You know, you want to make sure it runs with hollow points and other types of ammunition. So okay, that one was really an odd round. Look, it even hit the paper all weird. I don't know if it was a bad round or not, but that's my group with the 124 grain. Appears to be zeroed pretty well for me, so that's good. Okay, well, let's wrap things up with the Glock 43x with the Radian Ramjet. I thought it performed very well. Now, I'm doing this video after I've already released the 6-hour P365 Radian Ramjet, and a couple of common questions I thought I might address with this, because I think they're very similar. Number one, it does make your pistol longer. But if you were considering getting the Glock 48 or the P365 fuse, then the Radian Ramjet just makes it that length. All that it's doing is giving you a comp with it. Now you're giving up a little bit extra barrel length, which may or may not be mitigated, as we saw today, by maybe tighter chamber or something like that that allowed the additional 30 feet per second. Again, that could be real. If we shot, 100 shot group, would those two numbers come closer? I don't know. The barrel lengths are effectively the same size as a 43X, but we're certainly not losing velocity with this Radian Ramjet barrel. And I have seen that I've lost velocity with aftermarket barrels. And so that is possible for something to happen. Now, I still love it. I think this is a great aftermarket thing. Some people are worried about the spray back in their face. Again, this has the port up here, so it directs the gases a little bit side and out, not so it's coming back up into your face. I've shot ported guns with night vision on. I haven't noticed a issue with too much flash. So for me, these aren't major issues. I know that there are others that worry about that and consider that a no-no or a no-go with compensated pistols. But for me, I like compensated pistols. So for those of you who are out there that are with compensated pistols, this is a great option. I love how thin it is. A lot of times you get a comp, it will not fit in any of the holsters. This fits in a Glock 48 holster. That's what I have, and that's what I use it. I use it in the Enigma system in a holster made for the Glock 48, so it's perfect for that. I think also we're finding out some interesting things about the KOA, that maybe these are stopped. I don't know about the 43X KOA, but I know for the 19 that they're no longer being offered on the civilian market, or at least there's rumors about that, and perhaps some other contract is going to gobble them up. We'll have to see and stay tuned with that. All right, well, let me know what you guys think about the Radian Ramjet on the Glock 43X. Hope everyone has a great week, and let's get to shooting.
From pistols to rifles, we'll take on the best. Reviewing each weapon, put them to the test. With revolvers and shotguns, we'll break it all down. The Second Amendment protects from the crown. Shooting for the